All right, everyone. Welcome to my talk for Failover Conf. So this talk is called Pragmatic Incident Response, Lessons Learned from Failures. This is a couple of tips that I've learned in my career on how to better respond and learn from incidents. Super quick fire, 10-minute talk here. Let's get right into it. So who am I? My name is Robert Ross. I am the co-founder and CEO of FireHydrant. We are an incident management tool. You can find me on Twitter, Bobby Tables. I'm on GitHub, Bobby Tables, on LinkedIn with a hyphen. So, all around the internet as Bobby Tables. And let's just dive right into it. 3 tips on pragmatic incident response. So all the small things. Big Blink-182 fan, so I snuck in some lyrics where I could. But I want to talk about my elevator. So I live in Brooklyn. I live in Williamsburg, and I live in an old candy factory, retrofitted as an apartment, and I have an elevator in the building, thank God. Some of the buttons don't light up when you press them, notably my floor. The LED display that's above the buttons is not correct for some of the floors. If you go to basement, it says cellar, and generally it's just a piece of crap. It goes up and down. That's all I needed to do. But overall, you can tell that something is wrong with that elevator. And not too long ago, I was going home and I came up to my elevator and had a crudely handwritten, out of order thing written and posted up on the door. And this is a photo. I didn't take a photo of my elevator. I had to find one on the internet. But my point is that my elevator suddenly stopped working. Luckily, there was redundancy. We have 2. And this was my face pretending to be shocked, right? Oh, this elevator that has mislabeled buttons and, buttons don't light up. Of course, totally shocked. And what it reminded me is that it's not too dissimilar with software. The habit of ignoring these small issues often leads to much bigger issues. And in the case of my elevator, it had a mechanical problem one day and just stopped working. So my first tip is focus on the small incidents first. I see a lot of companies that say we need to fix incident response. Oh my gosh. Every time we have an incident, it's just chaos. And what they're talking about is they're talking about unexpected downtime at a high severity level, and they want to improve that. And to which I say is that is the wrong incident to be trying to fix right now. It sounds like you need to fix it, but let's focus on the small ones first. And running retrospectives for these small incidents is a great way to start getting into this world. They often will have the most actionable takeaways. I've been in many incident retros where a takeaway is quite literally re-architect async pipeline. That is not a ticket that anyone is doing anytime soon. Low stakes incidents and retrospectives are just a great way to start instituting behavioral change within the organization. If you have a high stakes 12-hour incident and you run a 1-hour retrospective, you're not gonna really get the results that you want. You need to start small. So run retros for bugs that were introduced, maybe a bad data migration that didn't really impact anything, but it took up a couple hours extra of your day. Those are great ones to just do really quick retros on. And I have the Stripe increment issue. I bought 3 copies of it. It's an amazing issue that they made, and it's called Reliability. And Heidi Waterhouse has it's the first one in it. And she quoting, a plane with many malfunctioning call buttons may also be poorly maintained in other ways, like faulty checking for turbine blade microfractures and landing gear behavior. And I couldn't agree more. The small things are typically indicators of bigger things down the road. Let's talk about what you measure in your organization. So you should be measuring how you're improving. It's really important to measure and track how much you are improving. Are you improving on your MTTR? Super critical metric to be tracking here is your MTTR. Everyone should be tracking their MTTR. MTTR is just a great statistic to measure and improve incident response in your team. I promise you. Of course, I mean mean time to retro. You don't think I was saying mean time to resolution, right? Our memory fades fast. Hopefully you're still listening. You haven't thrown your computer out the window. But our memory fades fast. Herman Ebbinghaus, I believe I'm saying that correctly, he discovered that memory loss occurred rapidly over the first few hours or days, but showed a more steady, gradual decline over subsequent days, weeks, and months. Point being is that if you're running a retro 2 weeks later, that's a bad retro. You might as well not do it. So the easiest way to have a bad incident retro is to wait 2 weeks. That's the easiest way to do it. Don't try to get your ducks in a row and all that just to say, oh, we're going to be super prepared. Just do it. If you don't have the time to compile a timeline or whatever your processes are for your retros, it's okay. It's better to still get into a room than to not have the retro 2 weeks later. I will die on this hill. So tip number 2, but with much less troll: track mean time to retro. Hold prompt and consistent retrospectives after incidents. Set a timer. Make an SLO or an SLA for yourself that says this is how long we take for retros, and you can vary them. If it's a Sev 1, clear schedules. You need to have a retro either that day or the next day. Sev 3 is a little bit more leniency, maybe. If you do want to, create rules around this, those are some options for you. Another one that I really like is tracking ratio of retros to declared incidents. That is a metric that should go up. You should see your ratio of retrospectives to incidents increasing. You can split that number by severity as well. If you have a low retro ratio for a Sev 1 versus a Sev 3, that might be okay at the beginning. Again, right? Start small, but you do want to start to see them maybe equal. And my last tip in the 10 minutes allotted to me here, but what do you alert on? The severity of incidents is directly linked to customer pain. We would not declare Sev 1s if there weren't a lot of people feeling a lot of pain, right? That is, we do not declare incidents unless someone is feeling pain or will soon feel pain. Alerting on computer vitals is an easy way to create alert fatigue. As your company starts to scale, you will start to you're going to use more CPU. You're going to use more memory. Tying alerts to computer vitals is not a good sign. Like if I go on a run, my heart is going to go faster. That's just the way it works. It's doing its job. Paging people at 2 a.m. because disk capacity is at 80% and won't run out of space until next month is a good way to lose great teammates. I have worked with people that have left companies strictly because they got paged too many times for stuff that did not matter. So my third tip is to alert on a degraded experience with the service and not much else. CPU burning hot at 90% is not necessarily a bad thing. Create SLOs that are tied to customer experience and alert on those. People experiencing problems with the service is the only thing you should alert on, for the most part. SoundCloud has written about this. They alert, and they have a much more eloquent way of saying, they say alerting on symptoms, not causes, right? Again, my heart might be beating super fast, but if my heart is beating super fast and I am lightheaded and I fall, that is a cause. So I need to be able to alert on something like that. And they say you can apply the same thought to many other actual or potential causes of an outage. Paging alerts, those that wake you up in the night, should be based on symptoms. Great blog post on their developer blog. So a quick recap. Declare and run retros for the small incidents. It's less stressful. Action items are much more actionable. Number 2, decrease the time you take before you analyze an incident. You'll remember more, and consequently, you will learn more from the incident. Reduce your mean time to retro. An alert on pain felt by people, not computers. The only reason we declare incidents at all is because of the people on the other side of them. That's my talk. My name is Robert Ross. People call me Bobby Tables. Check out FireHydrant.io to uplevel your incident response today. Thanks.